Now peep this, my clone bitch. You ever cough so hard that Tokyo 3 goes on lockdown? Get in a bathtub nude before you do this shit here. That terminal dogma pack. Smoke so hard your Eva will make its own S2 engine just to keep running a little longer. Stinky as shit this side of Kaji's melon patch. Absolute terror pack. Shit will activate your A10 nerve connection without you even knowing. Gahern-ass levels of sour. Lung-destroying kush. This shit will send you to the Dirac Sea with one hit. No cap. Mind-molesting space angel shit. Forget couch locked. You'll lose your ego border and go 400% sync ratio.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
Get my FBI agent on the phone.
oh yeah.
All right. I got him on.
Your direct line, the Quantico.
Got him on direct. I got a direct in.
Yeah.
When they visited my house, and I'm like, "Can I get your number?" What's up?
Hey guys.
What's up? Hey, it's just me.
It's true.
Yeah, it was.
Wait.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Did the FBI really? Oh, okay. Well, I feel like so many people at this point, at least with the last 5 or 6 years of things going on.
I've heard several times that people have gotten like visits over posts.
Oh god.
that were that just had to be like, yo, did you post this? And it's like someone's Tumblr post written out, and they're just like, okay.
Oh, what was the guy who said IRS agents showing up at my door? I'm gonna be like this, and it was an explosive vest. and then the next post was, these didn't really look so funny printed out on paper when an FBI is at your house.
Yeah. I have a Facebook friend who tweeted that he would like to lock Donald Trump in a room and slowly remove the air out of it, and got visited by
Secret Service.
Secret Service. Jesus, why am I spacing out on that? Got visited by Secret Service on his houseboat in like rural Washington State.
Okay, that sucks. But living in a houseboat, that's got to be like one check mark already.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about whether that's a great story or the best story.
Rural is check mark number 2.
Half of Washington State is kind of remote because like even if you're like in a bustling like mid-sized town or suburb or whatever, you're still kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody,
sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
Okay, that's all right. Hey, sorry to break up the fun, but I do have to remind people why they're here and what they're doing. It's 48 minutes of dogs barking. My name's Jason, alongside for the ride with me, my main bitch, Brian.
Hey.
And, boy, we have a doozy of a special guest today, all the way from
Western Massachusetts.
Thank you. All the way from Eastern Massachusetts. West. Oh, see, I even heard you wrong. Let me get a take
great
two.
State of Massachusetts.
Yeah. Let me get a take 2 on that. Hey, everybody, it's 48 minutes of dogs barking. My name's Jason. This is Brian. And alongside for the ride with us, a very special guest from Western Massachusetts. You may know him as the creator of Question Hound, Gunshow, Rumblow, Funny Online Animals, The Cultists, God's Hands, and the upcoming Pinocchio adaptation. We're talking with, of course, Casey Green. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, buddy.
What a pull with Rumblow. I barely even go by that anymore. It was just, old high school bullshit random name that was like, I guess I'll just be this forever.
Well, I personally love Rumblow, and I love the fact that like it gave people online so much stuff, so much fodder to work with. Because Dick Butt alone.
Sure. Rumble wasn't the name of anything. It was just like kind of like the name I associated myself with. Like Horribleville was from Dick Butt. There's too much shit I'd done in the past that sucks.
Oh yeah, I did. I forgot about Cemetery Quest and like all these other ones. Yeah. Graveyard Quest, for the love of Pete. I can't even get it right when you're here. All right. But yes, Graveyard Quest, just a laundry list of great stuff. Thank you for coming on the show with us.
Oh, thanks for asking. And then I said yes. Thank me for saying yes.
And that's
you
exactly
just said
right.
That. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
You're welcome. Thank you for the asking.
It's a whole order of operations thing. I did want to share some sad news with my friend Brian here. Our local TV commercial weirdo Becky, the Queen of Carpet, has passed away at the age of 67.
Aww. She'll be buried in the fine Persian.
I was wondering what that was. Looking at your little show notes, I'm like, Becky Queen. Is that a meme? Is that like a character of the day I missed?
Kind of.
So in the 80s and 90s, this lady went on TV with like zero budget,
sure.
and she wanted to promote her carpet store, and so she became Becky, the Queen of Carpet.
Nice.
She'd fly around the arch with the green screen.
Can I find that online? You think?
Oh yeah, you bet. If you just.
I mean, we all have our own, like...
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, Western Mass. I mean, who's your local...
well, I'm originally from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Central Oklahoma.
Fertile ground.
So we had our own. There was a group of people who had a Honda store. Let's give them free advertising, called Fowler Honda. But they had a cute commercial where a kid mispronounced it. Flower Honda. Yeah, flower. That was it. And then anytime I go back to visit my family who still live there, on the radio, on the thing, I hear one for Fowler Honda that just ends with that kid, Flower Honda. It's not worked into anything. It's just dropped at the end. So it'd be like, remember?
Just there.
And of course, Oklahoma, I think the most infamous one, if you're in Oklahoma, is BC Jeweler's Christmas song.
What's that?
I could sing it for you if you'd like.
I would love nothing more.
It's a song from like the 70s or 80s that just got like, the classic jingle for a jeweler in Oklahoma, and every Christmas it comes on again, and then like even last Christmas, like the main, beyond actually showing the commercial, the other main draw is having other Oklahomas just sing it for you. So it's like the secret anthem, state anthem behind Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma.
Okay.
Jewelry is the gift to give, 'cause it's the gift that lives and lives. So give the gift can't fail from BC Clark's anniversary sale. Most sales are after Christmas. Keeps going.
Oh.
Most sales are after Christmas, but this one's just before. Something, blah, blah, blah. Savings you can't ignore at Oklahoma's discount jeweler since 1892. 1892.
Wow.
Fuck.
1892.
So give the gift can't fail, blah, blah. It repeats.
That's actually really well written. I kind of feel that's almost...
It's a very good jingle. And the fact that they just have been using it since the 80s or whatever is just like, that's your Manchurian Candidate. That's any Oklahoma's Manchurian Candidate activation phrase.
Exactly.
Like, we don't really have jingles here in St. Louis. We have catchphrases like, come to dirt cheap. Last home of the persecuted smoker.
Last refuge of the persecuted smoker.
Last refuge. Or like, come to Carroll House because you like nice
Smokers
things.
love to be persecuted.
Oh, yes.
Look at Solid Snake.
The most persecuted man in history. No,
the most persecuted
right.
smoker in history.
Probably. Yeah, Carroll House Superstores because you like nice things. Gettiker's is always.
Did you say that was in
Sunday.
the Chicago area? Is that where you guys are coming from?
From St. Louis.
St.
We're
Louis.
in St. Louis,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, it's okay. It's all the Midwest. Don't matter.
Yeah, I literally grew up next to a town called Midwest City.
Anywheresville, USA.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Townsville.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. In the city of Towns, I got Tom Kenny just gets me. But I'm going to share with you one of the many Becky spots that I think is one of the best. It's the one where she jumps off the arch.
Yeah, all I can see are like the remember. Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Becky, Queen of Carpet, stuck on top of the arch till Wanda picks me up. Okay, Becky, jump. You can do it. I won't make it. Just jump or I'll do the commercial without you. Okay,
oh my God, don't do it, girl.
You got so much carpet left to sell.
Yeah, I'm jumping off the arch again. By the way,
1994. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This is 10-something years into this campaign that she's been doing with her sister Wanda, the Princess of Tile.
She's been doing it since '84.
I want to say.
So this is like a 40-year-old thing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, look at those prices.
$29.
No wax linoleum, $29 a
for
foot?
a 9x12.
I would love a $29 fucking carpet 9x12. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying.
I was looking for a rug earlier this year when I moved, and I was just like, holy shit, this is expensive to get a nice big rug.
Oh, yeah.
It is now, yeah. 94 it was pretty reasonable, but people would go out of their way to dress up as Becky Queen of Carpet for Halloween. Like, this is how big a deal she was.
That's beautiful. She always in front of the St. Louis Arch?
Usually in front of the Arch or flying around somewhere like Forest Park or something. Like, there's always some destination.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be recognizable to you St. Louians, but also like to any randos who just walk by and go, I know where that is. I've passed by it and I know it. I passed by it several times.
So seeing her out and about was always kind of cool because getting a selfie with her was gold back about 10 years ago.
Aww.
But yeah, so she's passed away at the age of 67.
That's too young.
If only she could have made it to 69, the cool age to die.
The only cool age to die. Next up on our list of things that we ran into on the internet this week is, of course, gooch grease.
I saw that you tagged me in this on Twitter. But
What are you doing?
So it is a Fox 26 anchor was doing a bit.
It's a male hygiene problem or issue called gooch grease. I was like, what the hell is that? And after Googling it, I was bothered, victimized, bamboozled, led astray. It's described as a culmination of lint, sweat, and dried up pieces of feces between a man's butt and balls. First of all, who are these men?
He just said he was victimized. Victimized, bamboozled, led astray is what he just said. Those are three different things to be.
Some men use maxi pads for gooch grease.
You know what?
Yeah.
As a bigger man who suffers from the dreaded chub rub.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
You know what? That's a good idea. How about that?
Yeah. But just he was bamboozled and
by having
led
to say
astray.
gooch. Or that it's a maxi pad, essentially.
I think it was that it was a maxi pad more than anything, but just the idea that, like, and this is 30 seconds. That link I sent you is 30 seconds of a 7-minute segment about this. Apparently, local news is dying because this is what they have to do to get people to watch.
Was this approved by Clearwater?
It had to have been because it's a Fox station or something, like, just ridiculous. Following up on something, actually, on our last guest, Miles Klee, joined us last week and caught a piece of his in Rolling Stone. Worth it or woke? One man's mission to build a red-pilled Rotten Tomatoes.
Worth it. I want to see that. The no. Is that a real thing? Give me a link.
It is.
Our guest reviewer this week, Rod Dreher.
Yeah.
Reviews The Omen.
Yeah. I found this film extremely exciting for a number of reasons. So Worth It or Woke is an actual website offering what it calls red-pilled movie reviews. So this guy, apparently, a film enthusiast, degree in theater and philosophy. He has 3 ratings on the site, all right? It's Worth It, Woke-ish, or Woke.
Yeah, I want to look up, like, the movies I've seen of recent to see if, like, do you have the Wailing on here? Do you have some J-pop horror?
Oh my gosh. Brian is a big fan of The Wailing.
I love The Wailing. That's one of my favorite movies.
I still haven't seen it. I got it confused with Memories of a Murder.
I watched it recently and then I told my friend about it. He's like, yeah, did you watch it for the second time? Because we watched it, like, years ago. And I was like, damn, was I just stupid high? Because I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I had forgotten. I had watched it when it first got on the streaming a couple years ago, and then my girlfriend and I watched it a couple weekends ago, and we were just like, she'd never seen it, but I had, and I was like, I just forgot just how deep the fucking craziness and the
last 30 minutes goes, like, the Act 4. That one got me, and I was like, have I seen this before? But I was still just like, holy shit, what's going on?
So here's one, the Worth It or Woke review for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the sequel, Across the Spider-Verse.
Is he going to spoil it? I don't want to be spoiled.
No, I'm just going to give you the rating review.
Okay.
Right? So
right.
84%. 84%
okay.
non-woke, I guess is what he's saying.
Non-woke?
I guess. So he gives it child suitability 75%. Non-wokeness is a separate rating on here. Mm-hmm. And it is sitting at an 89% non-wokeness for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So,
It's not the worst design I have seen for like a red-pilled website. It's coherent, which is upsetting.
Yeah, it is, because it does actually look like a pretty decent, even if it's based on like a Wix thing, it's still like...
Yeah, or some WordPress, whatever. But like still, like it doesn't...
Oh yeah, like the site passes like the very basicness of being readable.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do. I want to pull up what he considers a woke movie. All right, so the 4 most recent ones listed as woke on the site are as follows: The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan and Wendy, Evil Dead Rise, and Renfield.
Okay, the first 2 are gimmies because that's Disney.
Yeah, but like
Disney's a softball. Renfield, interesting. Evil Dead Rise. I saw the trailer for that. It looked insane.
Right.
Like I in a good way. Like I want to see it so bad.
Let's see. Woke elements. Here we go. The phrase "that's culturally insensitive" is uttered without irony. Okay. The girl who is upset about cultural insensitivity is seen painting a "Save the Planet" protest sign. Okay. The same girl has a mannish haircut. All right. In an earlier scene, an 11-year-old is given a gift that is, quote, for badass rock chicks. The young lady then turns to her mom and says, "Hey, I'm a badass rock chick. Will the willful corruption of youth is great if it's for a laugh, right?" Hey,
Huh?
Yeah.
I bet this guy would like Green Inferno. Because like the
Send him a Serbian film. See what he thinks about that. Yeah.
Well, in Green Inferno, like all the young people that get mutilated and killed by the indigenous tribe are all like
Oh, that's true. That's
terrorist types.
Yeah.
You know.
I was looking for like one. What was the last movie I saw that he would have done? Like Wailing? No.
Oh yeah,
Some other weird like indie horror? No. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I actually did see that one. I thought
what
it was
did
great.
you think of it?
I liked it. Yeah, no, that like I'm a cartoonist. I like animation. Fuck me. I'll check out the next one. Puss in Boots was animated well and was like a decent fucking fun movie.
Oh yeah.
He gave it 75%, and that's about where I would put it too.
Yeah.
Non-wokeness 80%. I got to admit that's true. It doesn't pull punches because it's about Puss in Boots on his last life, so he's constantly thinking about death. He's constantly thinking about actually dying. That's why that's what the movie's about. Him getting the life of his wish back, and he's fighting like a literal version of death.
Yeah,
he's given it pretty good stories, except for the plot and story, about 60%, which is like sure, but like half the stuff is in like the jokes and the stuff. Like he's his last wish, getting his lives back. Who cares?
Right, and it's almost like a vibes-based movie too.
Yeah.
Like the plot's kind of thin, but it's really fun hanging out with Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek together. They're great. You know, like you got a good voice cast. John Mulaney is even decent in it, which I was kind of surprised by. But yeah, I do see. That's what's funny is like I agree with him on the quality of the films, but then this like list of things that are woke in the movie that ding it. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, the last one. I was just looking over the woke elements, and it's like in the midst of this this is quoting from him, midst of the fairy tale realm based on European folklore, and specifically on the outskirts of a town full of Latin-inspired architecture, clothing, and art, with citizens who speak in a deliciously rich Spanish accent. That seems...
Yeah.
There is a crazy cat lady who, for some reason, is black. No black people over there. With a stereotypical sassy black American grandma voice and accent. Is jarringly out of place. Felt like someone that said black people were underrepresented in the film and then forced this character upon the movie. I don't know. She was just there to be a crazy cat lady. I don't know what you want.
Just a black lady. Like black people don't exist in Mexico. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. What did you think about the Mario Brothers movie? Okay.
There we go.
Now that movie was pretty woke. I gotta admit.
All 15 minutes I watched on Twitter.
Yeah, Brian's only seen like the opening of the movie, and he only watched it on Twitter.
Yeah, I just sat on the couch with it expanded full screen on my phone. I was just like, yeah, I'm good on this. I got like to the part where they had dinner with a family, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to watch the rest
So you didn't
of
get to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah,
No.
You didn't get to possibly the I don't want to call it the woke or the worst, but the least fleshed out. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend about it, and she was like, "It's misogyny by another name," where the like Princess Peach is like the badass girl who can do no wrong. Like, like they're course correcting too much in a way that's just like it's so obvious.
But it's also like, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other... I had more of an existential crisis about, like, why I'm watching was supposedly a kid's movie at a midnight showing with my friends right now, wasting a high on the Blippi trailer before it, and just, like, fucking, like, just popping out of my skin. Just being like, why am I here? This movie, I am 36. This isn't for me anymore. Yeah. You don't have to do this, man. I love Mario, but you don't have to do this, man.
Right.
You don't have to consume every piece of media just so you can have an opinion on it.
Yeah. It's less that and more just like I was kind of excited, you know? I love the original Mario movie with Bob Hoskins and all that shit. That's such a silly fucking movie that I had my heart up being like, I would love to see a stupid Americanized fucking Mario movie. You know?
Yeah.
And I got my fucking wish. Monkey's paw curled.
Exactly right. Next up on the list, we got the bane of artists everywhere, artificial intelligence, showing its ass yet again this week from...
Oh, yeah. Those guys were funny.
From Garbage Day, a wonderful newsletter that you should be subscribed to. If you don't, it's garbageday.email. Ryan Broderick writing here. Nothing any guy who pays for Twitter says in a thread about AI matters. Just take a deep breath and accept that if you come across a dude you've never heard of that has approximately 96,000 followers and has a name like Torbund, Jackson, or Streffen, is using an avatar of himself wearing a soft baseball cap that men in Brooklyn are forcibly assigned by the city when they turn 35, claims he founded a bunch of successful tech startups you've never heard of, and writes long threads about AI and ends those threads by quote tweeting the first tweet in the thread. He's not real. These guys are obsessed with, of course, Adobe's new generative AI tool, and they're using it for the stupidest of reasons, taking, for example, the Mona Lisa and creating a bigger picture out of it. Here's what's behind that. It doesn't matter. Why are you doing this? I don't... It's the stupidest thing.
Or the fucking Bill Gates and Socrates.
Oh, yeah, that's another one. The Bill Gates
Socrates
and
would have definitely been in Epstein's little black book.
Sure.
Socrates would have been...
Are we sure he wasn't?
Island. I was going to say.
There's a second secret black book they haven't found yet.
Yes. So another person kind of riffed on this and took the original Goatsy image and expanded it out.
He's got more rings on more hands.
I don't know that it could. I don't know that that you could generate any more.
Wow, a longer ball sack.
And a demon and a skull. Yeah.
Some good calves though.
You know, I
see.
Oh yeah, when they added more the giant calves, he looks.
That's like a cyclist.
My God, yeah, you're right. I got two things.
Yeah.
The Velma series, season 1, episode 1 and 2, got the lowest score on Worth It or Woke It. I haven't seen all of it, but first one I was just sort of watching with not laughing, not hating it, but also just like, Beyond that, when it comes to AI and even this stupid shit, the what's behind the Mona Lisa, like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
I don't like how it's completely black and white, but the only, like, black and white with the issue in that, like, you either love it or you're either freaks about it.
Yeah.
You know, you're fucking cult members on a high on your own supply about it, or you just hate it. You know, you just have the normal distaste for this shit that you should. As a tool, I think AI can be fun. The problem is the cult-like phenomena of people who think we have to see what the surrounding street of Nighthawks looks like.
Yeah, but just like shut up.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of like I'm sure we'll get into it. The same kind of insane assholery that is in the crypto marketplace more often than it isn't.
You say that.
Yeah, exactly, because that is exactly where we're headed. Two things this week for the crypto scam of the week.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the crypto scam of the week.
First is not an actual crypto scam, but it is a scam of the week. It is our good friends that are making the Trump bucks. Are you familiar with this, Casey?
I remember his NFTs, and I heard he had trading cards also coming out when he also was like, by the way, I'm also running for president. Bucks, was it with an X? Is it BUX?
No, it's Trump bucks. It's Patriots Dynasty, Patriots Future, and USA Patriots. Those are the three companies. And they're called, quote, Official Trump 2024 Gold Cards, and then the Trump Rebate Banking System, TRB, membership cards supposedly issued by Trump himself. It's a card that you buy, and it says you're a member, but it's also supposedly worth money.
So it's not a credit card. It's not a bill. It's not a golden dollar bill. It is a member. It is a Mickey Mouse Club card. That's
yes.
Is worth
That's
something.
literally it. Yeah,
Right.
it's a commemorative card that just says. It says,
what's the rating on Woke It or Worth It?
I don't think you got around to reviewing that, strangely enough. I don't know what that's about. This is from NBC News. Representatives for the companies that sell Trump bucks and TRB membership cards could not be reached for comment. Oh, strange. And there are no criminal charges or active investigations against the companies, but...
Sounds legit now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Word that the websites had been shuttered was welcome news to this Florida woman who said that her 77-year-old mother-in-law was fooled into buying tens of thousands of dollars worth of Trump bucks.
So normal course of things for just ripping off old people.
Yeah, that's the first scam of the week, and then that one's not a crypto thing, but this one is. It's called Pixel Penguin. Are you familiar with this? Have you heard of this? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this?
Penguin? They can't fly. They're small. Their wings are too wet.
Not a pixelated.
Wings are too wet. It's for insulation only. They swim in the cold water. You heard about this? Cold water?
Yeah, Jay, I heard about it.
Yeah, you drink it. Drink it when you're thirsty. Anyway, we got a great show.
I can't get over the pitch perfect Jay Leno.
Yeah, great show for you. I'm getting smaller as we go. Goodbye, everybody.
The incredible shrinking Leno. Oh,
J Lo and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Bye, Ant-Man. See you later.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen?
Oh god, J Lo is MODOK.
Here I go.
I'm a fucking out with no MODOK stands for anymore.
Mechanized organism designed only for killing, Brian. Come on, you don't know what MODOK stands
Mom's
for?
other kids. Older. Cooler.
Moms of dads of kids. I don't know. There's
Oh, baby. That's the 48 minutes of dogs barking riff of the week.
So this bit about Pixel Penguin involves a NFT influencer, Andrew Wang.
Mm-hmm.
Again, some of these guys.
Did you say Andrew Wang?
Yes, Andrew Wang.
Okay.
He's not the music
math
YouTuber.
Guy, yeah.
I know. I was thinking of Andrew Yang, and I was like, no, it's Yang.
the big math hat, and he's like promoting NFTs. That would be the icing on the cake. He was promoting this NFT collection called Pixel Penguin. Supposedly, the collection was created by a friend of his, known on Twitter as Sarah or @HopeExist1. Sarah was battling cancer. The pixel art pieces were intended to help with medical expenses. You bought in a piece of this collection, you helped this person, this is a whole thing. Wang assured his followers, hey, this is legit. He, staked his reputation. So each was available to mint for $13. 20% of the profits were contributed to charitable causes, with the remainder marked for Sarah. The collection was not new. It had come out in February. However, Twitter users traced tweets. See, some of these Twitter investigators, like Zach XPT and some of these guys, are just they're hound dogs. When they smell a scam, they're like, we're going to find this out. Zach XPT in particular sniffed all this out and figured that Pixel Penguin had a contract that had accumulated 61 ETH, which was about $117,000. A few hours later, the proceeds of 63.5 were sent to 2 new addresses. The scammers transferred the funds to a wallet on OKEX, obscuring the trail, right?
So he was being paid. He's not a friend. He's being paid.
Correct.
By
yes,
just whoever, someone.
Right. And so the idea is that, it's going to pump for all the right reasons. And the long and short of it is that, the user stole the art, deactivated her account, and they just took off with the money. So $117,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And
cool.
So are you implying that he was in on it too?
That's kind of what the money trail kind of says.
Because he was on Twitter being like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is someone who I've, like, talked to, like, on the phone and, like, have known, thought I knew, and ended up just being, like, a scam. But if Zach XBT is saying that there's a money trail there, that's even more depressing.
Well, it's not clear as to who exactly the money went to. So because the proceeds went to these other wallet addresses and then those went to other addresses, it's really hard to trace, but it doesn't look right. And you know, I don't want to necessarily come down on Andrew if I don't know for sure, but it definitely does not look good that a project that he swore up and down was legit has now gone without a trace. Like, it's
Do you guys like crypto?
No.
Not really. It's bizarre, and
you don't have any things with like bitcoins or whatever?
No, not really. Like,
okay. You have to tell me if you do. It's legal.
No, it's like if you're a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cops don't have to tell you, just for the record.
I was unemployed board, like I fucked around with shit on Coinbase, and I turned like $100 into $200 a few times. I was like, all right, okay,
all right,
that's it. And
all right,
really,
I'll believe you this time. Wait for the follow-up email. Hey, I have an idea for a meme coin.
Hey, I know all these other guys are doing dick butt NFTs, but these are really good.
And they can go die in a fire. I don't give a shit.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, you have personal experience
but
with
there's
that.
just like a weird like internet 1.0 vibe that comes around sometimes with like the communities that develop around crypto. That's interesting. It's like, oh, this is like before MySpace, except everyone's scamming each other twice as hard.
Yeah.
But also sometimes just the Schadenfreude is kind of exquisite.
Very delicious. Yeah.
I mean, at some point you have to get full, right? You Schadenfreude, like not an eat na with our fin Schadenfreude, you know, one more.
I could eat it all.
Because like
personally, but.
At some point, there's a curiosity I have to admit about like what crypto was, etc. And I get it, I understand it. Like, I have too many people bugging me and annoying me about like meme tokens and shit since Neon Cat blew up.
Yeah.
And this is NFTs, not even crypto, even though it's the same fucking nasty pool.
Yeah.
I just looked up like, what does this mean? What does it do? And then it just all just sounded like speculative casino gambling bullshit and scams, like all enrolled into one.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And I never hear about it I never hear about it unless it is a scam. And that's me not really paying attention unless it's like you guys, or I follow CoffeeZilla sometimes. He talks about it often.
Yeah, he's amazing as far as like chasing these things down for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so Andrew did reply to this.
I do have a third thing, a special secret third thing I do want to talk about before we move on to the next
another one
piece.
Gasp.
I know.
Another crypto scam?
Another crypto scam. I know. But this one's even more bizarre because it's just, there are people on Twitter, they're just like creating a username for someone that's kind of a notable or quasi-known person, like in the trading space. Like, there's someone called Mr. F, and someone made a Mr. F was here token, which fucking ate shit, and like who fucking saw, who didn't see that coming. There is a trading bot called Jared from Subway. And it's called that because it sandwiches buys and sells and kind of extracts liquidity by using more gas from people that have stuff in like order books or stuff that's like waiting to be processed in the blockchain, min-maxing its returns for certain buys and sells, fucking over other people. So someone made a Twitter account saying that they were Jared, the person that has a Jared from Subway bot, and that I'm going to do like my own like Jared token, and no website, no pre-sale, nothing on like a crypto like launch pad, none of the stuff that people tend to do, even if they're scamming, that seem legitimate. Just send money to this Ethereum address, this wallet address. So I think it's like at like $1.8 million or something.
Just by saying, "Hey, I'm the guy."
I'm the guy that fucks over people with my trading bot. I'm going to have my own token, so give me all your money.
Scam token.
Yeah, cutting out the middleman, I think is what they call that.
Yeah, like there's no artifice, there's no like song and dance, like there's not even like a website. Yeah. It's just like, I'm going to do this thing, and then
a bridge token. You buy your own bridge.
Exactly.
Wallet inspector.
That's next. I swear, if it doesn't exist, I'm doing wallet inspector token, and that's going to be it. I mean, Christ almighty. So Andrew did reply to this and said, oh, I got scammed too. I thought this was legit. I won't be taking any more questions, but yeah, this burned me as well. Yeah, definitely inspires confidence.
I forgive him.
Inspires confidence by saying I'm not going to talk about this anymore after making literally one statement and then saying, okay, we're done. But he did also follow up by saying, here's a legit source that's not on the chain. It's strictly for donating to people for healthcare needs. So at least
I want to follow up on all these donation links and things.
Oh, I know.
Just to be like, how has any of this impacted like the hospital, vet, whatever he's giving to? I don't know. Just
supposedly giving.
Yeah. We good? Is this good? You guys good? Or is this just insane?
Exactly.
Do you just have like links to things you don't know what to do with? God damn.
I know. Yeah. Well, I suppose we should get to the meat of the episode. We're talking today with, of course, Casey Green, talking about cartoons and cartoonists. And one of the bigger news stories this past week was the announcement that the Nib was going out of business after 10 years.
Ooh.
I know. Well, I mean, they started, and that was Matt Bors, whose work is also excellent. But I mean, Matty Lachevsky, Andy Warner, Whit Taylor, Mark Kaufman, just so many talented comics. Ruben Bowling is on there now. Matt Fury, our guest Casey Green. You got John Rosenberg, Jen Sorensen, Tom Tomorrow, who was originally just in alt weeklies, and now he's working for this comics-focused site. What an interesting site. So, Casey, how did you get to start working on pieces for the Nib? Were you approached by somebody, or was it just like...
I think Matt originally approached me to repost some of my latter Gunshow stuff from like 2014 or so. It ended at about 2015.
Okay.
Just some regular like pieces I did. The one about I remember the first one was the one where it was Mart from the Anime Club grown up complaining to his mom that the trimmers from Trimmers are actually called graboids.
Yeah. And it's at someone's funeral?
It was, I don't know if I made it clear in the comic, but I always thought it was like his stepdad's funeral. So he's just arguing with his mom just in front of the coffin.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I made that clear in the thing, but it was definitely, like, in my head, I always thought it was that.
Oh, man.
And then from there, I was like, you guys like more? And just, okay, yeah. And I just gave him, like, random comics that could have been any old gun shows. I think my favorite one was, I forget what the lady was talking about, just some boring thing, because the real meat of the joke was a squirrel in the background of, like, the coffee shop or whatever she's there just sitting against, and the squirrel puts his cheeks on the window and his ass cheeks on the window and just shits. It just just sprays shit on the window, and then she delivers whatever punchline, and that's it.
And then speaking of Question Hound, of course everybody knows Question Hound from the This Is Fine comic. You did a follow-up, This Is Not Fine. That was the one that made me realize, oh yeah, he's on the site. He's doing a lot of this work.
That was probably I mean, obviously that was the bigger one. Is I finally had the desire and idea to do a follow-up in the middle of 2016, which was the most normal year.
Yeah.
And they were like, absolutely. So they just they were very chill about like most of the stuff I was asked to put on there. Or I asked to put on there. I pitched to them. That's the correct word of putting it.
Gotcha.
It was like in a decreasing commercial world where there's fewer and fewer places that actually pay for art, for comics. Let's get specific here. For comics, Mad Magazine was one of them, which I was also a part of for a bit. They don't really do that much anymore. Nib, the New Yorker, all places I have tried.
Yeah,
some succeeded. I tried the New Yorker. They never wrote back, and I got impatient, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm taking my comics back. Fuck you." One day, and they didn't call me back. Fuck them.
Yeah.
No, it was like a couple months, and that's like,
don't you know who I am?
It was like a couple months, and I had the I was just like, I could just fucking start a new comic myself. Fuck them.
Yeah,
but like it's rarer and rarer that those are the three off the top of my head, because I tried and succeeded at some of them. Yeah. That's still sort of paid cartoonists, because that's what I do, and also it used to be a pastime that people respected to some degree.
Because the only cartoonists that are not folks that have been in the nib recently that I can really think of are all these hack political cartoonists. Like, immediately the only other one that comes to mind is fucking Ben Garrison. Oh boy,
he's not a hack. He puts his whole ass into that cartoon.
You're right.
Are you kidding me?
You see how he draws AOC?
Like next to the Onion's Kelly, who is like
true. Oh, yeah,
obviously
Kelly.
His own thing, but like he's great. Like Ben Garrison's like the other fucking like funniest, not on purpose, obviously. But funniest fucking like cartoonist, political cartoonist.
I guess it's more that the messages are hack, because he's a talented artist, and that's
like the way he portrays it, the way he draws it, says so much more about himself.
Yes,
and that's the most beautiful part about any like perfect little comic.
The Kobe Memorial.
Oh, the crying basketball.
Was that a recent one? I missed that. That's awful.
When
That's
Kobe
awesome.
Bryant died, he did Ben Garrison did a tribute comic, and it's just a giant basketball with Kobe's face on it.
Crying basketballs, little basketballs.
Yeah, it's
This was before
bizarre.
COVID took his brain. So
it's like the
holy shit.
I remember like growing up, and like me and my friends would be all into weird like semi-obscure music. Someone would find like a Hazel Atkins record, putting hot dogs on my wall or wherever that shit was. And I feel like that's like the visual equivalent of like finding like a Hazel Atkins. It's just like, this is really fucking upsetting, or like Armin Schumacher Steals or something. Like just like weird outsider art. But now the internet has brought to where it can be focused on. And
I'm a big follower of Something Awful. There's a whole political cartoons thread, and I follow it every year because they do the Kelly's Awards, which is named after the Onion's Kelly.
I was a goon back in the day, but I have to admit I don't really follow that much anymore, so I'm not familiar with this.
So every year in C-SPAM, in the political threads, there's just one thread. It's just dedicated to American political cartoons.
Nice.
And that's how I know all the names, like Ramirez and this guy. Like they're all.
I loved going to Kaggle.com.
Oh wow!
You must know what Kaggle.com is, right?
Oh, I have not thought about that in a long time.
Yeah.
That's Dan Cagle, right?
Yeah. He's like that's like the main aggregate site for like political cartoons, not Garrison or the Onion Kelly, but like the rest of the motherfuckers, including like Ramirez and etc. and whatnot. One of my favorite memories from going to conventions was remembering that it was on a anniversary of 9/11, like 10 years or so, and I just was like at a dinner with everyone. Like, I was like, let's see who had the day off, and went to Kaggle and just like looked at for like everyone's boring, stupid 9/11 a tribute to those wonderful planes. And just being like just the most boring cartoon. Not even Kaggle, but like fucking Family Circus didn't have to do one today. You didn't have to think of a joke today. Fucking Beetle Bailey
sure didn't.
I'm gonna get in trouble. I work for King Features.
We can cut that. That's no problem.
No, keep it. It's funny.
So aside from Garrison, political cartoonists, obviously you did some work for the Nib, but is there anybody that stands out to you in that pack, or like is there somebody that you're a big fan of?
We already talked about Garrison, so
yes, we did. Yeah.
and Onion Kelly.
Kelly, yes.
No. Look, I love the others that are there. My heart goes out to the Nib. It can't be rough. It's got to be rough to like just pull it down after a while. And political cartoons, it's always tough. But god damn it, it's just so uninteresting, more often than not. That shit just runs through my head like like water over a duck's back,
Right, because, most of the time, those political cartoons are just like, a thing happened, and here we are showing the thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
It definitely, it moves at the speed of news, but also that kind of makes it less interesting.
It's people who still think, like, art can change something.
Fools,
I mean, it's great. I say everyone should do it, but, like, there's a weird importance in a different way that sometimes, even myself fucking included, absolutely, that art can change someone's mind or something like that. I will, my favorite joke was from the end of Adventure Time, where them singing a song stops the big god, the nasty god of destruction, and then Bimo, the little robot, says, "My art is a weapon." She just says it with such anger and like of fulfillment in their heart, and like that's only funny because it's just otherwise not true.
Yeah, I feel that. Damn.
Yeah, I've been through that ringer, so I don't But God damn it, you find sometimes those people who are just like the worst. Like a lot of the artists, great, excellent.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you find those fucking weirdos like Dry Bones. Oh, you must have come across Dry Bones.
Kirchen and Dry Bones. Oh my god,
that's such a low rent looking fucking comic.
Yeah, because it's sub Ziggy. Like this guy can't draw for shit, and he's been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah, I love outsider art, but holy moly.
Oh, man. If you've never seen it, Dry Bones is an Israeli political cartoon strip in the Jerusalem
3 for
Post.
3. Let's go.
Yeah. In the Jerusalem Post, and it has been published since 1973. So 50 years he's been doing this. The guy's name, Yaakov Kirschen. God. And he started out doing greeting cards, of course.
Yeah. I could see, like, maybe an earlier style, I could see the greeting card focus, but I remember, like, Chapo did, like, an episode, like, long ago about this shit.
Oh, yeah, they did an entire, like, the worst guys.
Yeah, and just seeing, like, some of, like, the Dry Bones. I saw, like, a YouTube that showed the comics they were talking about, and some of the Dry Bones were so just, like, low rent and fucking, like, dashed out and like amazingly quick. The one on like Wikipedia I'm looking at right now, hey, that looks fine. That looks completely like fine and cartoony. Like these looked like he was tired.
Oh yeah,
half not looking.
If you're looking at like the new ones, so if you go to his website, it's MrDrybones.com. MrDrybones.com. That was my name in college, Mr. Drybones.
That's what they call me on the fucking Mario Kart tracks, because that's my guy.
All right.
It's before you learned about soaking.
It is before I learned about soaking, yes, absolutely.
It was called dry boning, where you just put your hand around your wiener and have your friend jump up and down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Down your dick, yeah.
Yeah, he just smashes it. He just smashes your fucking erect penis.
This hurts. No, dude, it's all the cool
It's supposed to hurt.
It's
supposed to hurt. Yeah.
It's fine.
Don't be a poser, man.
I am looking at Yaakov's fucking Twitter, and he posts the same comic like 5 different times in a row.
I think that's a content management one where he's just like, here, post this a bunch of times, and it auto does it for him, but he doesn't know how to work it. So.
Yeah, it posts each comic 8 times.
Yeah, not great.
He could just retweet it, but he probably doesn't know.
Right. He would not know.
Old ass guy.
Yeah, because I mean, if he was born in 1938, so that would make him in his
no
late
way.
80s. Yeah, 85 years old.
God bless his ass.
Graduated Queens College 1961. Here's the funny part. This is from the Dry Bones website, MrDrybones.com. After dismissal from the greeting card company for loudness and jocular attitude, became a freelance gag cartoonist for the former Mad Mag guys who were then doing Cracked.
Amazing.
That is baffling to me. How do you go from Cracked to doing bits in Playboy to this?
I don't know. I used to read Cracked in the 90s before I understood the genius of Mad Magazine, and it's rough.
He did some Playboy comics?
It says here he included in several best of Playboy anthologies. Moved on to cartoons.
Man, he's got a couple up on the Chick Track guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just Playboy was another back in the day that ran some it played good money for old comic strips. It's a wonder. Sure. It's I wonder if they were good.
That is a good question. Yeah, you really can't tell. And I'm trying to find any actual fucking comics, but his website is so fucking broken. It says click to see Drybone's blog. Site can't be reached. Okay, great. And then connection's not private. Oh, that's bad. Bad cert. That's a bad cert. Yeah, every time you want to try to find Drybones, it's the fucking privacy filters on, so you're like, that's not good. It makes me wonder, okay, he's 85. Maybe he's not in the game anymore, maybe he's not.
You don't think he still got it?
Well, to the extent that he ever did have it, it's one of those guys. Yeah, Kirshen is a real trip, boy. You start looking at his old comics. I'm trying to find some older ones, but yeah, they're just the infidel is the Palestinian, and we should kill them all.
I found this one. It said 73, and it's mostly unpolitical. I don't know. It's a dumb joke. If you want to read it out,
it's the character there driving. So we're having a blackout. Okay, so these kids rush up and slap black paint on my headlights. Okay, so they rush around and splash paint on my rear lights. But listen, there's a limit. My eyeglasses, and then the last frame is the squiggly mouth upset look, and you think for the whole comic he's just wearing sunglasses, but no, someone has done the blackout on his glasses, but not gotten any paint anywhere else on him, by the way. So
amazing. These Palestinian kids are too clever.
Too clever by half.
I mean, that's what you can read into it. 73, some blackouts, wherever that was happening. But it is the most unpolitical one, and it's not. It's fine.
It's okay.
It'll make your uncle smile for half a second.
It's inoffensive.
There's that phrase that Harvey Birdman, the heartwarming but rarely amusing Ziggy cartoons. I feel like the same could be applied to Drybones.
A lot of daily cartoonists like Drybones and the like are probably fine with just that,
Sure, and gag a day people
it's a gag a day. You sometimes you don't got a gag in you. Sometimes you got to smile.
Sometimes even Larson, the Far Side, would have an off day.
Sure.
But the good would always outweigh the bad as far as Larson.
Oh yeah, there's cow tools.
There's always cow tools. I love that comic.
One of my favorites, Larson-wise, Far Side was a big one for me as a kid. Everyone says Calvin and Hobbes or whatever.
I mean, they're both great. Watterson has his own special charm, but
I just never read Calvin and Hobbes, And as a kid, I was a little stinker, and the more I heard too much about it, the more I was like, fuck it, I don't want to bother.
It's just Dennis the Menace. What do you? Yeah.
Never truly read it, but Far Side, we had books of it in my home, and I loved it. And one of my favorites when I was rereading the entirety of Far Side, because I have the huge hardcover complete collection of the 10 years.
Oh wow, yeah,
very big, but it's lovely. One of my favorites was one about a talking dog on a talk show, and it shows the dog talking, saying he's a famous talking dog, but it also shows that he's reading from a cue card. And that just that stipulation about entertainment and everything in general is I was like, that is so goddamn perfect.
Oh yeah,
that's so good. Far Side was a favorite of mine, and so was Bloom County when I could find it.
Berkeley Breathe, yeah.
I have a couple of those. I never read it, but I have a couple of those collections in my to read pile.
Definitely do. As far as political cartoons, Doonesbury was always up there.
Sure.
You were seeing it.
The third one, which always fucks with people if they know me, is Foxtrot. I loved.
You love Foxtrot?
I loved Foxtrot as a kid.
I never would have seen it. Yeah.
I used to read whatever that was just there. Foxtrot never caught me too much. I don't know why, and I know he's a complete weirdo now, but I mean, he probably always was. Scott Adams, Dilbert. I always liked to read Dilbert. I'll be the guy who says I didn't hate the cartoon that came out on like UPN.
Yeah, it was alright.
It was fine.
Yeah. I remember fondly that than like the comic, and then just as we all congregated online, Scott Adams just got more and more shirtless.
Yes, we got red, mad, and nude online. Yes, he did.
The classic, yeah.
Well, one of my favorite comics people that did stuff online is Tristan Farnon, who did the Dilbert Hole, which is the modified
Set
Dilbert comic. Set sail for dick. Yeah.
Leisure Town, right?
Yes, that was Leisure Town. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, an all-timer.
Oh yeah. Actually, that was one of the early episodes that we did on this show. Is we just went deep on talking about Leisure Town and Jerk City and all the stuff that Farnham was part of, but the Dilbert Hole, baby.
I mean,
so good.
was that what the Leisure Town episode was called? Because that was about like like one of the little animal workers just fucking going crazy and stapling them all over his office.
Yes,
until everyone else in the office found it and was like, "Get him, get him."
Yeah, that's where it started. But then Tristan was like, "Yeah, I made these comics for the joke in that comic." But here they are in strip form, and so you can see them real close up. But it's set.
Oh, there's like more.
I think there's about 10 or 12 or something of them. Someone out there does have a collection of them. Tristan had to take them down, even from Rotten.com, which used to be like the bastion of.
It was that's where you went. Is this still active?
No, sadly. Yeah, we did an episode on that one too because a lot of our formative years were places like Rotten or Style Project.
Jesus Christ. I mean, Rotten I would skate by once in a while and be like, well, what's here today? Style, yikes. I haven't thought about that
hardcore.
Fucking name in a while.
My just to show you how weird the whole Dilbert thing has been. My mom's been a computer programmer since I was a little kid, and I remember going to like the office she worked in the late 90s, and like it was like a defiant thing to have like a Dilbert cartoon on like the outside of your cubicle.
Oh yeah, did no one like it? It was too mean towards engineers.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
There were like my mom would tell me stories about like, hey, you remember such and such that you met and you liked the comics that he had on the outside of his cubicle? Like, yeah, like he quit today.
Oh,
like
man.
because he was getting yelled at by management for having like watching Joe cartoon on his lunch break or something.
Yeah, remember when Dilbert was edgy?
Yeah, it was transgressive.
When Dilbert was edgy.
Osama bin Laden in the blender or whatever he did.
I mean, 9/11 broke everyone's brain, but before then it was just you just want to see a frog in a microwave.
Or like the Punch Britney Spears game.
Oh yeah, that's
awful. All the Flash games back in the day.
Newgrounds, kill Kid Rock's midget.
It has a name. It's Joe C.
I know,
Thank
but
you.
that was the name of the game.
Come on now.
2 foot tall with a 10-foot dick. Don't forget that. That's from the song.
My name's Joe C. The C stands for cool.
Thank you.
Maybe a fuck, but he ain't no fool.
See, this guy knows what I'm talking about.
I've had the South Park album.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
That had System of a Down doing an instrumental for a Puff Daddy song.
What? No, it
didn't. Yeah.
I don't remember either of those artists on there. I'm going to come and find you if that's true.
Why? It's the only good Puff Daddy song that he made.
South Park album.
Yeah, it's called "Will They Die for You."
Oh my God! Oh, that was Chef Aid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, Lil Kim, Mace, System of a Down, all together on one track. And I got to say, as far as like P Diddy rhymes, like his rhymes on that are pretty damn sick. Although he does have a line, and it's the opening line. How many N-words will die for you? How many get a quiche like the pie with you? That didn't really fly, but other than that,
okay. I was stuck in the movie soundtrack. I did have Chef Aid, but now that it's on, I moved it from cassette to MP3s. I think I just dropped some that I wasn't into, and I don't think I was into that one.
Oh, gotcha.
Now though, I got to just go back and find that shit.
because it's got a sick verse from Lil' Kim on it too. Lil' Kim just comes out fucking. Let's see. Lil' Kim spread like syphilis. You think I'm pussy? I dare you to stick your dick in this. Like, okay. Chrome 44 inconspicuous in the 600 shit's ridiculous. Speak when you're spoken to and only with permission, like E.F. Hutton when I talk and words listen. So, like, I don't know. I always thought that was a good part of the verse there. So
yeah, I got
very fatherly.
I mean, my favorites were always Devo's Haboon Stomp, or the Rainbow, Homo Rainbow.
How many colors are in the Homo Rainbow?
Yes,
I mean, I was a big Ween head in college. Like that's when I like Ween. That was when I was like Ween good.
We used to when I worked at Guitar Center. We used to close to the country Western record.
Oh, that's a good album.
Fucking many times screaming at the fucking vacuum for not vacuuming up the fucking staples good enough to piss up a rope.
Oh, Piss Up a Rope, what a classic. We something from Quebec the other day. We had it as our outro song. It was It's Gonna Be a Long Night is the opening track, because like for the longest time I thought that was a Motorhead song because the way he sings it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's their fucking pastiche for like it was an Ace of Spades.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
Yeah.
I immediately thought it was an Ace of Spades riff. Oh man! All right, so Casey.
Yeah.
It's Gross Picture Time. It's time for Shock.jpg. That's the name of the segment. Oh, yeah, baby.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Today, it's actually very tame.
I heard the last couple. Fucking baseball asshole.
Yeah, this is like I said, it's relatively tame in comparison.
All right.
It's almost like hazing. It's just part of the deal. Every guest
It's not pee pee poo poo.
It is not pee pee poo poo. Actually, in celebration of Pride Month, it is simply an act of love between a couple of different guys. It goes by two different names. One is the LOL Train, and the other is Love Parade.
All right.
So it's a choose your own adventure type of deal.
I'm clicking it now. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not bad.
Pictured here is four gentlemen in what appears to be a soccer net in a very long chain of mutual anal sex.
Oops.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Oh, we all fell into each other.
Oops. What are you doing, step, bro?
Yeah. Nothing, step, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, they're all safe. They're all wearing condoms.
Oh yeah, okay. Because I saw the one on the guy in the middle. I didn't notice that any. Yeah.
You can kind of tell. It looks a little shinier.
That's true. But I did notice that like the guy on the end, he's just being done. There's like nobody's touching him. He's just.
Yeah, he wasn't doing HGH.
He seems to be enjoying himself, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, in a funky little.
I mean,
font,
you're the big spoon of this whole set. That's got to have its own connotations of just like, that's right. You know,
and the guy in the back,
you fuck the guy, and then you like using him to fuck the other guy, and then using him to fuck the last guy.
The perpetual fucking machine.
Yeah.
The last guy is the only one making eye contact.
That's a literal big dick moment.
Yeah, I guess it would kind of have to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a similar photo that floats around every once in a while. I haven't seen since like the old Fiat days, but a similar train of like 8 like amateur bodybuilder type men.
Wow.
Doing that like on a hotel bed. But at the very end, the very last guy is fucking a chick.
Okay.
So it's like 8 dudes doing the chain, and then the last guy is like fucking a chick, and you're just like.
So it's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but for being gay.
Yes, I don't know. It's almost
I was
like
2 guys away from her, so technically I fucked her too.
It's like the Human Centipede.
Yeah.
A lot of folks in Spain commenting on this one.
I don't know. I guess it's the soccer part. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's not legal.
One from Melbourne, Australia. That's fucking gross. Only because the dudes have hairy nuts.
See?
I don't know, man. Like,
and then I look, and it looks like
one
one of the guys actually doesn't have nuts.
Like at all?
The second, like, look at the second guy.
Okay.
Where are his nuts?
Well,
you guys aren't still looking at this?
No.
It's not your background right now. I've been studying this picture. You guys are, come on.
His are just high and tight. I think
I think he's just
Has he got Mickey Mouse ears?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing there.
All right.
Just leave this up for a while, like it was the McChicken video.
He's every time.
I thought it was going to be gross. This is just an act of love.
Right. It's just a bunch of dudes hanging out.
Yeah.
Just guys being dudes.
What's better than this?
Now this is living.
No, we don't have to listen to any of our wives. Just hang out here playing
just
soccer.
Vibing.
Yes. Not a cell phone in sight.
Living in the moment.
Just having fun. Just a bunch of dudes.
And one of them turns to the other and goes, "Wait a minute. Who took this picture?"
Oh.
Ooh.
It's the horny soccer ghost.
The horny soccer.
The ghost of Pele.
Yeah. Pele's still alive, isn't
he?
No, he passed a couple.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I apologize, Pele, for thinking you were still alive.
That's all right. You're a hell of a player, though.
He kept it really low key for like the last 30 years of his life.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's 2022, so it was just last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna click this off.
Please, for your own sanity and for ours, yes.
No, I mean, look, I was expecting when we're talking about Rotten.com and other things. I'm sitting there like, oh, jeez, what are you guys gonna show me?
I'm trying to take it easy with guests because I don't know everybody's
tolerance.
Look, I had my moments, but that's it. I've had them. I don't always go looking for them again. You know, I don't want to look at Tub Girl for another minute.
Yeah,
don't want to watch the Owen Hart death video.
Rest in peace.
One and done. You know.
Yeah.
You go like you only have to see the fucking Twilight Zone awful accident that killed those 3 people, including 2 children. You know, you only have to look at that once, and then like that's it. Hearing the story behind it is amazing.
Oh wait, is there raw footage of that?
Supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, there is.
That's legit? I always thought that was faked.
There's a great series called Cursed Films on Shudder that talk about different types of films that have had bad moments or production or something, like Poltergeist. You know, infamously had that. The Wizard of Oz. Which worked into an on cinema at the cinema bit with Greg Turkington there.
Okay, I was going to say, I saw an out-of-context clip of Greg Turkington in that. I didn't think it was a real show. I thought it was something they made.
No, it's a real show, and Greg's in it.
Oh, man. As the character from On Cinema, right?
He's as Greg from On Cinema, who knows about the old footage of it. It's very good. But it's also a legitly good series, and one of them was about the Twilight Zone movie. And what happened, and they give it a lot of gravitas and be like, you know, they set it up and then they show the footage once and that's it.
Kind of like Grizzly Man. I don't want to. Yeah.
Fucking Grizzly Man.
Oh Grizzly
that's
Man.
Like someone slowly pulling your teeth out.
Well, but that's what I think of in that kind of like, I only want to hear it once. I don't necessarily need to share it with someone. You know,
the story of before and after, and also the people just like shitting on. Rightfully, in my opinion, John Landis, the director of the time, and talking about the things he could have done a little better and the things he didn't do better is very just like, okay, I feel good not liking him or his son, even though his son gives us ample opportunity to not like him.
Yeah, I was going to say.
On his own.
It's hard to believe that the director of Kentucky Fried Movie could...
I know,
the famous Kentucky Fried Movie.
I don't know. I do have a soft spot for Kentucky Fried Movie.
Is it because of Big Jim Slade?
Yes, actually. From the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think the only Max Landis thing that I really enjoyed that he was even vaguely a part of was Chloe Grace Moritz in a World War II pilot movie called Shadow in the Cloud. That one I can overlook a lot of the Max Landis stuff on because it's a tense little thriller where it's just Chloe Grace for most of the movie, enduring verbal abuse from pilots, and then like weird shit starts happening. So it's an interesting movie. Aside from that, I don't think he's really made a lot that's worthwhile. Like Bright, that fucking Will Smith and his other buddy in the buddy cop movie is an orc.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh god.
Yeah,
gracious.
Terrible.
He produced that adaptation of the Douglas Adams book, The Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. But I think a lot of that was carried by Elijah Wood as the main one. So
okay. The Landis bloodline is cursed.
No more.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
The government should intervene at this point.
Max Landis was destroyed by the county.
He was either that or get a fine from the city. So yeah, that's something to do. All right, so Casey, this is our favorite part of the program. It's called the Breath Mint.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the Breath Mint.
And why it's called the Breath Mint is, of course, we show someone a gross photo, and then we give them a chance to talk about something that maybe is a little less distressing than that, stuff that they've been watching, reading, playing, whatever it is, something that just caught your attention in the past week or so. And I want to open the floor to you since you are our esteemed guest. What's been up with you? What's something that you just caught your eye recently?
Well, this is a lovely little image. You can you can infer some what do you call it? Some story behind it of these the four boys just having fun and are sexually fulfilling, just shoving, just enjoying each other.
Yeah.
No, what I really have been into, I mean, I've been playing Zelda. I don't know if you guys care, if we talked about it or whatever. I'm playing that new Zelda. It whips ass. It's fun.
What's funny is that I bought a second Switch. I have two 13-year-olds, and so I bought a second Switch so that they can play Tears of the Kingdom on theirs, and then I can catch up on my backlog on my own Switch, so I don't have to hey guys, can I get this Switch? Go away, Dad, Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, all right, thank you.
So you're not playing it, but you just need your kids to leave you alone.
I'm waiting my turn. I'm waiting until I'm serious. I'm waiting until both of them finish it, and then I'm like, cool, I'm gonna play this for the next 3 days. See you later.
Did you buy it physically so you can share it between?
Oh, absolutely.
That makes sense. That makes sense if you got two.
I'm a physical media guy. I can't.
That's fair.
I got physical copies of everything. I got this huge collection of Blu-rays because I'm streaming's gonna get rid of this movie from 1987 that I really liked, and I gotta have a copy. And
they just might, but at the same time, I don't get everything physically media. I get the things that I know are my genuine favorites. Things I'm oh, that's a DVD purchase. I mean, I get that, and I used to think that would never happen, and then David Zaslav bought Max and was like, "Hold my beer" or whatever.
Yeah.
And then now it's but at that point, I'm just really getting into having a VPN.
Same here.
And doing something with it. Who knows what? Yeah. But I do. For games, I have no problem just going full digital. For my last 3 Nintendo systems, I just also bought a huge little memory card, shoved it in there, and said, "Let's go."
Yeah, because those little SD cards are cheap as hell these days. I got one for $20
and then they could just hold everything, and I'm like, "Yep, that's all I'd like." That's my 3DS. That's my Switch.
Yeah. So, Tears of the Kingdom. You liking it so far?
I mean, that's an easy one. That's a gimme because everyone's probably playing that. But yeah, no, it's great. I love it. I had the crazy thought that maybe I might want to replay Breath of the Wild because I was thinking I'm gonna love Tears of the Kingdom, but what if I can't wait. What if I replayed Breath of the Wild? But I'm glad I did not because of how well Tears of the Kingdom just reminds you of how cool Breath of the Wild was. While also giving you the same map, essentially. And, I don't need to waste my time doing it again, essentially.
That'd be like playing Red Dead Redemption a second time.
Yeah, I love that game, but I don't need to play. The idea of, doing that again is no, I had my lovely, lovely, pandemic time with Red Dead Redemption 2 and Arthur Morgan and all of them. We don't need to go down that road again.
And I just started it, so I'm can we move this along a little bit?
It is but it is also my all-time.
I keep hearing it. Yeah,
I did not think it would be, but goodness gracious. But to give it something else other than Zelda, the obvious one, Delicious in Dungeon. A manga. One of those anime mangas. It's a manga.
Yeah.
About people who go through a dungeon and have to instead of buying rations and food and stuff like that, which is practically very expensive for people who are doing very bad and stuff like this, they decide, what if we eat the monsters in the dungeon? And along with an old hand, a dwarf who comes along with like their group of 3 to be 4. It does present itself as a cooking manga, a fantasy cooking manga. So it does have moments where he's like cutting across. He's cutting out a mimic, which is shown as like a crab-like creature, a hermit crab-like creature, and he's like popping off the claw. Ooh, the meat's tender. What if we just cook it right? And then boom, we have like crab claws, like mimic stuffed whatever. You know, and it shows like these are the calories, this is the fat. It's very sweet in that, but.
Wow.
And that's funny, and it's very well done. Like the author, Ryoko QI, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, she's great. Her cartooning is excellent. And as the volumes go and the story goes, there's actually a really fucking cool story, like, on top of this. It is not just about eating monsters. They're trying to save someone who got ate by the dragon. You start learning about how the dungeon came to be. You start learning about the politics inside and outside the dungeon, like the world around it. And it's like at volume 12 now, and it is coming to a head, and it is so just like nice and cool to see like a cool fucking story unfold, rather than say the next fucking. Look, I love a Shonen Jump. I love One Piece and Dragon Ball and stuff like this, but I also like it when a story has an ending. So like this is definitely wrapping up, and it is coming to a head, and I'm like so excited. Volume 12 just came out, so Delicious in Dungeon is a fucking pick of the week for me.
Hell yeah, Brian, what you been up to?
I imagine no one wants to hear me talk about the Succession finale.
Boo.
Which one of these spoiled kids is getting the best head?
Kendall. It's always Kendall.
It's always Kendall. He's always got that dumbfounded look because the sloppy toppy's too good.
Too good. He can't handle it. He doesn't know what to do.
He can't handle it. That's why he always looks at the wire like he's going to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
The Succession finale, I thought, just no spoilers or anything,
Sure.
I thought it actually wrapped up the story in a pretty interesting way. And that's pretty much it. It was not disappointing like a lot of things when they end.
See, I've heard so many conflicting things. I've heard that Succession wrapped up perfectly. I've heard people that were really disappointed. I've heard people like all over the spectrum. And I think it really depends on like how you come into the story and what you think of these characters.
What you get out of it. I think what I really get out of Succession is you see these people, they're kind of inherently terrible because of their environment and how they were nurtured, like particularly with the children, the adult children of Logan, and in their pursuit of power and dominance, just how much like they kind of turn away from humanity. But each of the kids, and even some like the secondary characters, all have these moments to kind of like do the right thing. And like you think like, oh, is Kendall gonna fucking finally get through his thick skull that he can just like walk away from this and just be like a bored millionaire? But he can't, because he has this drive to be the CEO of this massive fucking corporation, and it's like it's torture porn in the sense of being disappointed in other people.
I like the phrasing on that. This torture porn. Yeah, I guess.
Well, like, oh, is he gonna fucking get through his, are they gonna figure out, are they gonna make a choice that isn't like in their self-interest in like the worst kind of way? Like, nope, they're gonna do it. They're talking it out, and you think like, yeah, man, like you don't have to be a complete piece of shit 24/7. Like, oh no, you decided being a piece of shit 24/7 is the way to go. And then you see the fallout, and then that becomes an arc for a couple episodes, and a lot of that plays into the finale. But yeah, so that's Succession.
Okay.
I enjoyed watching it. And hopefully won't have to talk about it too much more on here until you get
until I catch up. I
know.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Outside of Succession, we've been to talk about this for almost a month now, but the new Billy Woods record.
Oh yes,
Maps.
You mentioned it briefly at one point, but yeah.
Billy Woods has released two of my favorite records of the last couple of years, Hiding Places and Ethiopies.
Okay.
That's how you pronounce it. He's always kind of done a thing where he'll come out with a record and then within that same year have like a second record. And so after Hiding Places, he had Terror Management, and after Ethiopies, he had Church. And Terror Management and Church are the kind of things I would be like listening to them at work. And there'd be songs on there I'd really like, but I didn't like them enough to go like sit down and be like, okay, what song is that?
Yeah.
On the track listing. And Maps is Billy Woods at his most kind of bleak, dark, gallows humor. He's funny. The beats are really good. But instead of kind of looking around at his environment, which kind of has just been like a guy who's been grinding for the last 10 years, he's now a guy who's been recognized for his talent as a musician, and now has just come out with a record with like, man, touring a lot is kind of like weird and alienating and sucks.
Oh yeah.
And some people can really mine that experience for some gold, but for here, it's not that the music's bad or the lyrics are bad, but it's not his most interesting. It's not him at his most interesting. It's not him at his most introspective, because I think most people have gone on a trip that took like a week and it felt like it took fucking forever, and then you come back and you find out like, oh, something changed. Like, oh wow, they put up that fucking quick trip really fast. Something
right.
like that. It's still better than most things I've listened to, but for Billy Woods, it's kind of slightly disappointing considering what I feel like I know he can do. But maybe, you know what? Maybe his next record will be...
I was going to say, yeah, wait for the follow-up, I guess, is just kind of... Because, that almost feels like... I'm thinking about, like, sophomore records, when bands blow up and then their second record usually has some sort of commentary on fame or whatever. Like, Veruca Salt is my immediately thought of when you said, like, oh, yeah, this song's about how touring sucks. And, like, yeah... The last song on their second album is a song called Earth Crosser, and it's this epic 8-minute fucking song about how like touring sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, that's a thing that you do, but like,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple tracks on there. Like the one I think that really sticks out to me is New York City Tap Water, which is about like coming back from being on tour and like noticing how his neighborhood's changed and like how like the bodega he used to get his weed from is now like a fucking Blue and Crane, and kind of seeing like his neighborhood gentrify and like over 6 months of him not really being in town. Hit that NYC Tap Water, and that kind of like takes you back and
comforts of home, a little bit of that
and
stuff.
like that felt like in the groove, and the beat is just really kind of like a little bit laid back with a little kind of little guitar work, and I really appreciated that. And maybe it'll grow on me over time, but it's kind of weird from a guy who has released so much music that like the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm just gonna be listening to this nonstop for the next couple months. And this is one that like I'm kind of trying to make grow on me.
It doesn't quite hit
but even
the
my
same,
girlfriend is like, is this like your favorite guy? And I go, yeah, like right now. And she's like, you're not really listening to this record a lot. You were like so excited for it to come out, and you like I haven't really heard you talk about it. And I'm like, yeah, because it's just a guy being like, man, like touring's just like exhausting.
Which, I mean, it's relatable to a degree, but it's also like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So for me, for the Breath Mint, obviously I mentioned it briefly, Red Dead Redemption 2. Casey, of course, said it's one of his all-time favorites. Brian, I know you're a fan of the Red Dead game as well.
Arthur, we just got to do this one last job, and we can go to eat. I don't know, Dutch. We ain't so good at this no more.
What does he always say? Morgan always had like a fucking little thing he'd always say.
Well, I don't know, Dutch. I don't know, Dutch. I have not played it since it came out, but I loved it.
I'm only on chapter 2, so. But
like whenever he would be on your horse, you'd be like, "That's all right, boy."
Yeah.
The way he would just like hang on the word "boy," when we talk about his horse or something is so just like, God damn, I love this guy. Like one of the funnest characters to like be in a game.
I love the characters. I'm really like starting to fall for even like Uncle or Javier.
Are you still in the snow zone?
We're at Valentine right now, so I'm in the first big city, and we just had the bar fight, and we got everybody cleared out there.
All right, you're that's early stuff. That's early.
Yeah.
That's early.
But even at the same time, I'm like, this is taking forever to do anything.
Yeah. Yes.
But I think that's also a symptom of Rockstar games. They take a long... Because I felt the same way about GTA 5. I felt like, come on, what am I doing here?
Sure, this one is definitely on purpose taking its time, and you just got to be with it. Like,
sure.
I remember the first time I got this game, I couldn't hang, and then like pandemic happened. It was like I got no time. I got nothing but hanging, so might as well.
Like today, like I get off work. Kids are playing Zelda. I'm like, okay, let me go play some Red Dead. And I came out here to my little chalet that I have, and I got through some missions in Valentine, and then all of a sudden I fell asleep. Like I literally fell asleep with a controller in my hand. That's how. I mean, that's not a good sign.
No, it's a slow burn.
It is. Yeah.
It's the slowest of burns, but yeah. stick with it.
Felt the same way about Last of Us 2. So I mean, I will eventually finish it.
Because while you're still in Valentine doing like the main story stuff, it does hit a point where it starts picking up and it starts moving a lot quicker. It gets really satisfying.
Just the horse mechanics alone are interesting. I found the idea of like going out to hunt for food. Like that's kind of a concept that's neat to me.
I loved hunting for like the big upgrades and shit like this.
Right. And that's another strength of stuff like that and like the Far Cry games ever since 3, where you just like hunt animals to get upgrades. Like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like you got to physically make materials. Like,
yeah, you're using it for crafting supplies.
The other thing that I've been doing is reading. I know, what a shock. I've been reading Will Sommer's book, Trust the Plan. It's this big QAnon book that he just came out with.
I tried reading that.
Yeah? What'd you think?
I liked it enough. I follow like enough blogs and like weirdos on YouTube and Chapo and stuff to be like, I kind of know a lot of this already.
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of stuff that I was aware of via QAnon Anonymous, especially like Travis View and all those guys. Like, oh yeah, I know Ramona Dietelo. Yeah, get on with it. Yeah, let's
yeah. So like at some point I was like, this is for someone who just truly doesn't know. So I skipped to like the last chapter to get like his thoughts on everything, and that I think that made it at least like, okay, this was interesting to me. But like that's not his fault. I am too online and already know.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Already know too much about this shit. These are for normies who are like, wow, people are weird.
That is definitely a feature of the book, I think, because like I want to recommend it to my wife, who is not online like me. She barely even listens to this show, which is fine because I can say shit like "cum dump" and she doesn't, like even like for my mom, who just doesn't know any of this shit, I could just hand her this book and be like, hey, so this is what's been going on the internet for the past 5 years, and she can kind of get the idea.
You want to know the real me? Read this.
Yeah, right. But I do recommend it for anybody who even has a passing interest in it, because it sums up in nice, digestible language. Maybe you already know it, but the way Sommer plots it out, you get the whole picture, which is something that can be hard to do if you feel like you have to listen to hours of podcasts or read tons of blogs to really get it. He distills a lot of that info down in a really digestible format, and that's a big thing for me. I really like to because I had forgotten stuff about like Baby Q and like some of these guys.
Yeah.
Like,
I found it kind of wild that he himself would like just follow it on 4chan and 8chan, any of the Chan boards and stuff like that. So he like when he went through his bona fides, essentially, I was like, God damn, man.
Yeah, he's been around a while. But also the one where he directly like tries to intervene with the girl's sister who is in this Baby Q compound.
There's a compound?
I must have skipped that one.
You
Holy
must
shit.
have. Yeah. It's like, I met this woman and her sister was part of this whole QAnon compound thing, and she wanted me to get her out. So it becomes a whole different beast towards the end of the book. But yeah, it's still a fascinating read, even if you have just a passing interest in it. It's kind of like, because I read a Jeffrey Epstein book last year, and again, because I like TrueAnon, because I like Chapo, I know a lot of this stuff already, but it was still nice to see it in a really condensed package and kind of.
Even my dad, who's not online at all, was like, "Yeah, he hung himself." When that news dropped.
Mm-hmm. Big air quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Clinton body count just keeps going up.
Oh, the Clinton body
Mr.
count.
Producer!
Oh, God. All right, so, Casey, we got to ask, but before we go, there's two things. I just remembered two things. One, do you know who Mark Levin is? Do you know this guy?
Mark Levin. No, not off the top of my head. Sounds familiar, though.
So he's a guy who started out on radio, and now he's on Fox News, but he has this distinctive voice. That's what Brian was just doing. He was yelling about Mr. Producer.
Mr. Producer.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mr. Producer! Joel, Baba! What's in your pants?
He's an angry Jewish guy just yelling for what feels like forever.
We have a friend who is a journalist, and I did that voice around one time. He just goes, Mark Levin?
Yeah. He just immediately knew who that was.
Just like, oh, jeez.
It looks like I have a big knot in his fucking head.
Oh, God, yeah. He looks like he got hit over the head with something, and it's just like...
Conked in the head with a baseball. Just
in
made him
his
a surly
40s, and he's
man.
still got this thing on there. Yeah.
Out of all the
guy.
weird right-wing figures, this guy passed me by, I guess.
You poke that bump too hard, spires come out.
Well, if you get a chance, listen to him because he's just a hoot. Because he does this thing where he goes real quiet and he's like, and so he's got voice control like a Pixie song. But the other thing was, I've been meaning to ask all the guests this during our very special Christmas in June. That's what we're doing here. There's a month full of guests. Casey, I've had this question on my mind, and I keep forgetting to ask guests this, but I will ask you because I feel like you're going to have a good answer. So, in this hypothetical, you are in a Jackie Chan movie.
Okay.
And you're one of the baddies that Jackie Chan is fighting on his way to whatever MacGuffin he's supposed to get to finish his goal.
Right.
How would you want to be taken out by Jackie Chan?
Maybe in a way where it's like I like begrudgingly give him my respect.
Oh, okay.
After he like just thoroughly, not owns isn't the right word, but like makes a fool out of me. I ain't no fighter,
Okay.
I'd be one of the bigger guys who's just like, he's there for a little laugh,
Okay.
But something I don't know. I love Jackie. I don't know a lot of his action movie work outside of like his American stuff. I'd love to. I should. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's ever a time, if there's ever a bit, where like someone goes, he's all right, or if he's always just on the wrong side of the Yakuza or whoever.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to look back through some of this stuff. I've revised my answer. I've originally I said I want him
Can
to
I hear
like,
yours and then steal it?
Sure. Originally, I wanted him to like invert my jacket and kick me down a laundry chute.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
To my death.
It's a classic. Yeah.
But now I've reconsidered, and it's like, you know what? I would rather be the guy in the car, and where Jackie's doing a fight scene on the highway, and where he like totals my car, and it's just like, it's just like the Street Fighter 2 bonus scene where I'm just like head in my hands going, my car, and he's running away. That would be.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, my car.
Since you revised it, I'll go ahead and take the jacket thing because
Go for it.
I always like a jacket, and I'd probably be wearing one.
Yeah.
Just to look cool, and then he just totally is like, haha.
Yeah.
And he uses it against me, and I'm just like,
exactly.
He shows my belly to a bunch of hot girls nearby. And I just get ashamed. I get ashamed of my size, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you cross both arms.
He's kicking sandwiches out of your jacket.
Smash McDouble falls out of my pocket.
Yes. Perfect.
Everyone in the club just starts fucking stomping on it. Damn it! I did want to eat that.
Saving those.
I was saving that for later, Jackie Chan.
Jackie!
Could you?
Jason, did I ever get to tell mine?
No, I don't think you did.
A previous guest told me on my own podcast I couldn't make a joke.
Yeah, you got dog walked by a previous guest who said that you couldn't do your joke. But go on.
I want to be the guy that like he's fighting in a salon.
Okay.
Like a day spa, but I'm the guy that comes out of the tanning bed, and I'm like
pop out of the tanning
bed. And like I try to fight him, and every time he touches me, I'm too hot. So he gets a towel. And he wraps it around my neck, and he kind of like does like a shoulder throw.
Yeah,
and I spill back into the tanning booth, and he takes like a random like carbon rod and twists it in the lock.
You're stuck in the tanning booth.
Yeah, and I use and the steam's coming out.
I love it.
He kicks you into a spa window, and then you just like flip forward into like one of the ladies, like little fucking foot massage areas, and she just goes, "Oh well," and then just starts doing your feet. It's a living.
This is in Hong Kong where they have like this weird form of indentured servitude. So maybe she thinks that if she doesn't, she'll get like the hot iron on her feet.
Yeah,
again.
all she knows is that she has to. Customer will travel.
Right. So she just like shrugs, like, all right,
and just does his feet, and he's fucking out.
He's gone. Yeah.
He just did a front flip through a window. That hurts.
That about does it for the program, folks. Really thank you for hanging out with us, Casey. Since you are our guest, we're going to let you have the floor here for a second. Let people know where they can find you online, places to find the comics, and, of course, the Patreon and such.
Sure. I'm Casey Green. You can find me at most socials at KCGREENN. The one N is always taken, so I just go with two. My portfolio is kcgreen.com.com. You spelled .com out once. It's very funny and not confusing. But I do have a new comic I'm doing right now called God's Hands that I post on all those socials. Posted on Comics Kingdom. And it also has its own website, a webtoons really, but you can get it at the URL comicswebsite.online. And then I have a lot of other, I do a lot of other stuff. I finished up a Pinocchio adaptation, and I'm trying to we're going to get a book going soon, adaptation of the original text.
Excellent.
On my Patreon you can find some stuff that I've been doing on there, including a series called Cultists about 4 cult members who do the ordinary boring tasks of different conspiracy theories. I am currently writing a new one about fluoride.
Awesome. Fantastic. And that's patreon.com/Casey Green, right?
Yeah, that the one in wasn't taken, so it's just Casey Green. Again, if you just go to CaseyGreen.com, you'll find all this and more.
Perfect. Brian, where can they find you online?
CaseyGreen.com.
I know.
So good.
I know. I mean, thank you.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to send me death threats, you can find me at iShotGuydibord. That's ISHOTGUYDBORD on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to check out my photography portfolio, it's assholemusicphotographer.com. And if you want to check out the words I put to the photos sometimes, it's amusicphotographer.com. Hopefully, by the time that this episode goes live, I will finish my write-up for a band I photographed last Friday, on the 26th, I should say more specifically. Shame, great little 4-piece post-punk band from the UK. Excellent show. Probably the most packed I've seen off-Broadway for something that wasn't like 3 dudes in like Western shirts playing on the bridge pick of a Telecaster. So it was really cool to be like, this is a rowdy show that used to be like at other venues in St. Louis, but those venues don't exist anymore, so off-Broadway. Anyways, so those photos are hopefully going to be up by then. The write-up's going to be up by then. Really excited to find the free time to make that happen, because apparently I don't have free time right now.
Yes. Jason? Oh, hi. You can find me on most places at Videocrime, VIDEOCRIME. Unless you're looking for me on TikTok or Instagram, that is at LaserGooseCEO. You can find the show at 48 Minutes of Dogs on Twitter and various other places, including Patreon. That is actually patreon.com/48 Minutes of Dogs Barking. You can also find us on the web, 48minutesdogsbarking.com. That has all the episodes, all the whatnots and who's it's and where's it's and all that stuff. And you can email us, Brian at 48minutesdogsbarking.com.
Please send me Goatsy.
And Jason at 48minutesdogsbarking.com. Please send
him
me
the Daniel Pearl video.
I was going to say, please send me your recipes for cake. But
so this is we have to put a story about the Daniel Pearl video. So me and my mom were watching the Daniel Pearl video
together,
and we're like, remember Mima's recipe for cream cheese icing?
Oh, that's how it's going to go on the blog. Yeah. So you can also give us a call, 314 AHOY POO. That's 314-246-9766. That about does it for the program. Once again, a very special thank you to Casey Green for showing up and hanging out with us on a random night of the week.
We'll love a Thursday.
Indeed.
The holiest day.
You know what? It kind of is. We're going to leave you a little something from Brainiac. A song called Vincent, Come On Down, from their album Hissing Prigs in Aesthetic Couture.
Nice.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, isn't it? Well, as we always say at this time, namaste and good luck.
Bye-bye.
And Casey, say goodnight.
Good night.
Night.
Night.